important thing for wireless sensor network is the energy. I mean, you think of wireless sensor network outside your office, outside your house, where there is no electricity. So what you need to do is to get power from battery, and then battery gets depleted with time. What can you do to extend the lifetime? What can you do so the system will have sufficient energy? You do not expect that you are replacing the battery very often, because that is not allowed. So energy consideration is the most important thing. Now you will find, like our research, we are now considering what can you do so that you get continuous supply of power. And nowadays you will find the solar cell is coming up as the standard supply of power, because there are other methods. So one of the topic which is becoming more and more interest called energy harvesting. Of course, energy harvesting means solar, wind, so many things are there. Different new technologies are coming up. Level of power is very low at the moment, but maybe another 10 years, 20 years time, you will find that many other technologies will be available. Computation. Many times you think that your raw data are not useful. You need to process it to get the information. But where do you do the processing? Do you do that at the sensing node, or do you do in your computer? So that's a challenge for the engineers to decide what you should do. Now you may need all the data. That means you are asking the node to send more and more data which consume more and more power, reducing lifetime. So it's a trade-off. Communications. You want your range to be very long, but the practical devices, they have their limitations. So what can you do? How can you extend? So there are techniques, they call hopping technique. You have few sensor nodes and they send the data, but hopping technique, when you go on increasing the number of hops, your reliability reduces. So there are many issues there. Scalability. You will find many times your student come to you very excitedly, oh sir, I have got something. Many times it works in the laboratory environment, but then if you increase the size, if you take it outside the lab, you have the problem. So what can you do? Fault tolerance. Sometimes again the student, they get the result, but when they show it to the teacher, it doesn't work. So what can you do so that the system will not fail? Okay, what are the things missing? So these are the topics the student need to be taught so that they can include those in the design stages, so it works as a fault tolerant. Power consumption. How can you make your electronics in such a way that they consume very less amount of power? What type of electronics you will use? So these are the things coming up, and at the end, whatever you do, can you make it free? Of course it's impossible, so can you make it low cost? So that's the things, the challenge we are facing at the moment for the wireless sensor.